Working on the old Bull Ford again. Posting another video today on how to remove the AC condenser and squirrel fan and all that junk, because it's a race truck, so you know, weight reduction. But I'm about to be installing some new headers on it, and I got rid of the AC and I don't use the heat. You know, this is strictly just a play toy. I just use it for fun, burnouts and stuff. And eventually gonna want to turn it into a full-on drag truck. But so I'm ripping all this stuff out to give me some more space under the hood, try to clean everything up, and it'll give me some extra room to get these headers off and the new ones installed. So gonna do a quick video on how I'm taking it off. It's not the right way, it's just the way I'm doing it. So hopefully it helps you guys if y'all are wondering how to take this stuff off. Maybe you'll see something and what you're looking for that'll help you out. And anyways, I'm gonna turn the camera around and show you what's up. All the junk we're taking out right here. This truck, you know, was a factory AC truck, but I mean, it's hacked up. You know, I ripped all the EFI off of it. It's lowered, and you know, I never really planned on restoring this truck. I never planned on it being a show vehicle, you know, restored to OEM. It's just a fun truck, so don't hate on me for cutting her up. She was already cut up a little bit before I got her. But anyways, we're doing a delete on all this junk right here, shaving some weight and getting us some space. And once I get all this ripped out, I'm gonna build a nice panel to close that hole back up. But I think it'll look nice once it's all out of here, and it'll help me get some of this junk cleaned up. I want to eventually redo this engine bay and get all this old wiring re-loomed and tucked up nice, and you know, repaint this whole engine bay and get it looking pretty nice. But first step, gonna remove your hoses. I've already drained all the refrigerant out of this cooling system when I took the AC pump off. So that's already drained, but if you still got your AC pump on there, you're gonna have to drain all the refrigerant out of your system. You're supposed to collect it so it doesn't go into the atmosphere and cause, you know, all these greenhouse gases and destroy the world. That's up to you, your call. I ain't got no comment on that. But anyway, so disconnect your hoses. There's gonna be another one that was running to this side right here. I already connected that a while ago, or disconnected it. So once you get those hoses, probably gonna take the condenser off, and then you got these bolts go around here. Disconnect your hoses, and once I get into it a little deeper, I'm sure I'm gonna find some more bolts. But let me go ahead and start pulling some of this stuff off, and I'll let you know how it goes. All right, guys. Well, I got it out of there. It was a little bit more of a pain in the butt than I thought it might be, but I mean, it's really not that bad, and anybody can do it with a little basic mechanic knowledge. You are going to need some extensions and some swivel joints for your ratchets. Some of the bolts are difficult to get to, and I mean, you could get to them with a long box end wrench, but it was easier for me to just add a couple extensions together with a universal joint in the middle to make some of these angles. But anyways, there is that bolt up there, that bolt up there, and there's this bolt over here in the corner. That one's kind of difficult to get to because it's, you know, right underneath the fender, and once you got all the squirrel fan and all that in there, it makes it difficult to get to. And that one down there was the biggest pain, but that's the one I had to use about 3 extensions on, and the ratchet was out to about here because the squirrel fan comes way out here. But I was able to get it off. There's that bolt right there. I ended up just cutting it off because I'm going to take it out of there anyways. But you can get to that from inside the cab. Just pull your carpet or vinyl flooring back a little bit and you'll be able to see it. And there's also, right there where you see that bolt hole, there was another screw coming through the firewall right there, and that's accessed from in the cab. You can actually see in the cab right through there. But other than being able to get to the screws and bolts, it came out pretty easy. The hard part was just finding where the bolts were and figuring out how to get to them. But as you can see, it opens up a lot more space. I'm gonna build me some nice panels to cover that up, and I'm gonna move my fuel regulator to that wall back there and shorten up all these fuel hoses and make it look a lot nicer and straighten up all this wiring. But as you can see, I'm gonna be installing some long tube headers on here, and now that all this stuff's out of the way, it is gonna be a breeze getting them long tubes in there. I've already been taking out the bolts on this side. But anyways, guys, I hope that helps any of y'all removing or replacing your condenser and fan, or if you're just turning your truck into a race car like mine. You can see how much room it opens up for you. Or if you're installing long tube headers and you just want a little more space, yank that stuff out of there and it makes life a lot easier. So I'm just gonna leave my heater core in there for now. Maybe one day, probably not ever, I might hook the heater back up, but it's there. I don't feel like ripping the dash out and going underneath there, so we'll leave that one. Nobody can see it, so it still looks fine. But anyways, guys, thanks for checking out the video. Check out my other videos. I got a lot of videos on these bullnose Fords, but really this stuff kind of applies to any of these OBS Fords. They all are pretty similar. But like and subscribe to the channel, help me out. Drop a comment, drop y'all's tips and tricks in the comments if you got any. And thanks for checking out the video. I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.